Grown Black Folks Talk. Blessed Block and Change the Lock Chronicles is back. Y'all, breadcrumbing, Chat GPT edition. Y'all, y'all, y'all. There are people out there who have decided that their regular intelligence is not enough to try to scam prominent black women. First of all, regular intelligence would have told you you could have picked a more prominent black woman than me, but with one possible exception. And this does lead to, I just sort of noticed over time, this here does lead to some issues. That little book, Seizing the Crypto Bull Run for Financial Freedom, has people out here thinking that since they can't keep up with me in regular intelligence, they're out here using ChatGPT 5. This is the first time I've ever actually blessed, blocked, and changed a computer, or whoever was using the computer. So, I was minding my own self business last week, and this is a public service announcement because this really did happen. So I printed out the evidence and how I knew it was ChatGPT and all that. I was minding my own self business, and someone sent me an email called "A Thoughtful Response to Seizing the Crypto Bull Run for Financial Freedom." And it looked like the person had done their work. They were a new PR company. How did I find out how new they were? October 2025. I'll tell you how I found out in a minute. Heads up. I don't care who approaches you. The first thing you do is go on Google and find out what you can find out, because usually there are tells. But see, here's the thing. Do you know who taught ChatGPT how to talk about crypto the way I talk about crypto? I did. By the way, shout out to Mr. Terrence Amen, author of Family Business Circle, a black man who I'm honored to call my friend. He was one who's been after me for a year, and then Conflict with Love, my colleague out here on Why Aunties, has also been encouraging me for about a year. Get with it. See, these are my wisdom age friends. Get on this. Don't be afraid of it. Get on it. So I've been working with, next steps in terms of what I should do in the bear run. Well, not exactly a run. While the bears are eating all the crypto value and people are running scared. Last time we were in this particular time was 2022, and I was making videos, and that used to be my crypto journey. Now it's Crypto Auntie D. You can still find that playlist here. This time out, I'm contemplating what I'm going to do to get ready for 2027 to get y'all some information so you can do better even this time than you did last time in the crypto bull run. It's gonna cost you a little more though. I gave my book away to a lot of people, and I don't know how many people actually used it. I hope people got the use of it, and there'll be good times again, probably by 2027, 2028. And of course, in the meantime, in between time, provided we are not in World War III. But that's a different video. Anyway, this is known. I've done a lot of videos. It is a best-selling book. I did successfully predict the length of the bull run through this work that I did. So I'm out there as a best-selling author. But I've been doing some work with ChatGPT talking about how I did the book. So I actually taught ChatGPT how to have this conversation. Because when you use ChatGPT, it gathers data, compiles it, and then puts it out when it talks to other people. So, first email, this sounds really familiar. I couldn't quite place what it was. The Spirit of God said, be careful. Give one of your ChatGPT prompts that you used when you were having initial conversations about the book and how you wrote it and all the rest of ChatGPT. Hand it one of the same prompts and see what this person comes back with. Y'all, I sprung the trap. Now, I must say, let me back up. When you read in the book of Revelation, the deception of the end times is so great that even the elect would be deceived if it was possible. Actually, no. This is Matthew 24 and 25. I think Jesus said that directly. Even the elect would be deceived. See, the thing about me is I'm not desperate. See, we've had the Blessed Bach and Chains of Law Chronicles. We've had breadcrumbing. We've talked about it before. I've been breadcrumbed. I've been panko breadcrumbed. The person who was panko breadcrumbing me has just got another position doing this, that, and the third, all up on Facebook wanting everybody to know about it. I'm like, sir, see, if you hadn't been so busy panko breadcrumbing all this time, you wouldn't have needed to jump through all those hoops. You just out here trying to get validation and attention. Nope. You no longer exist. You tried to panko bread company. You go sit over there with all that stale panko. I'm still not paying attention. I see because Facebook sends all these little things to email. Y'all see it? Y'all see it? I done moved up in the world. Folks out here literally using ChatGPT, using language I gave ChatGPT to talk about crypto, to try to scam me. I done moved up in the world. So I gave it the ChatGPT prompt, right? And it gave me the ChatGPT response. It literally said some of the very same things and made some of the very same responses. Like, should I be complimented before I reach over here, hit this spam and block button on this? Should I be complicated? Should I cry? This is so sad because I always look at this as if you're out here scamming, you do know what the kind of intellect it takes to do scamming. You know, you could have ChatGPT make you an app and go make your own money doing something else. I always think about this. The laws. Humanity has so much ingenuity. I always think about this when I walk through my own community and I look at all the hustles that are going on. And I think, if only. But see, the thing about it is, if you have something to prove something, somebody to prove something to, whether that person actually exists or is just taking up space rent free in your head, and I will say, as a black person, you know, racism puts you in those kind of situations. The pretense to white supremacy puts you into those kind of situations. C.S. Lewis described the entire American milieu as everybody trying to prove I'm as good as you, because someone's always going to be pretending to be superior. So everybody who is feeling inferior now has to prove that either they are superior or someone else is trying to prove they're not superior. And he said that's what's going to handicap American ingenuity eventually. We're there. We're there. But if you're not in that milieu and you do not have anything you have to prove, then it's not as easy for you to get caught up in desperation over trying to do something. It's not. Book's already a bestseller. I don't have anything to prove. The book already did exactly what it's supposed to do. And quietly, real finance people read it. And if so, they're coming to me, bankers, talk about thank you for the book. I don't have anything to prove. I don't have anything to prove. People come to me talking about how this book helped them. People I know doubled their money. I don't have anything to prove. I'm also not out here looking for status. And I mean, they gave me a good story. I mean, they had all these book clubs where people would discuss it. So I went to their website. Their website still had placeholder text, insert file here, insert name here. They didn't even have enough English knowledge because their location was both Mauritius and Shanghai, on two different places, their Twitter. How you have all these book clubs, you have all this you doing, and you got 563 followers, and you only posted a couple times. How you gonna have all these clubs, huh? Your website has placeholder to text. Hmm. You've only been around since October of 2025. See, with a singular Google search, I was able to find this out. Because see, the thing about it is, if you're using artificial intelligence to scam, remember what I said from the beginning, people do not have sufficient real intelligence to keep up with me. So they have to try to use a computer. And it's not because I'm smarter than anybody else on a base level. Because as far as I'm concerned, every human being ever born has genius and potential. God don't make no junk. But I'm a trained researcher. So the first thing I'm gonna do is check you out. If I approach you, I've looked at you for a long time to see what you're doing. If you approach me, most of the time people are playing, oh, she's a middle-aged fat black woman and life is passing her by, and we can do enough research on our social media to know she ain't got no man, and we don't see any status flexing, we don't see anything. We just see someone living a quiet and peaceful life. That's correct, by choice. If I wanted to, I could. I don't. And it keeps me from being in situations where other people can run me out of my natural mind, pursuing whatever they're putting in front of me that they built up on ChatGPT, using language that I trained ChatGPT to use. That was what was really frustrating. And it also just tells you anything you tell ChatGPT, just know that ChatGPT is out there giving your language to other people because language learning models are learning from whoever it is. I know people who are good Bible scholars who are training the ChatGPT to have more accurate Bible knowledge than it had when they put it out. He literally is out here. Rodney, that prince among men, is out here. He must be 80 by now, using ChatGPT and correcting his theology. Confidence with Love has trained ChatGPT about the primacy of black women in history and taught it how to make beautiful black women. See, if y'all need good black women images, y'all go ahead and post down here and I'll put you in contact. You can get some of those images as long as you use them for the good of black women. Now, I'm just gonna tell you now, try to do anything else and confidence love is gonna destroy you. I'm just telling you like it is. There are things called copyright law, and then there's some other things out there. You, you don't want that. But she has trained ChatGPT how to make African women and African girls across history, black women and across the whole diaspora, gorgeous black women, beautiful black girls in beautiful circumstances. She basically is single-handedly taught ChatGPT how to do this because it used to make little white girls and turn them brown. No, that ain't it. I have another friend, Helen Gill Smith, who Dare to Heal experience is coming up. I'll probably need to do a video about that a little bit later, just to let y'all know a little bit more about that. She was just like, I said, go be yourself and train ChatGPT about the compassion of Christ as experienced and put forward through a black woman. Because if we do not put humanity into these tools, who else in America is going to do it? So yes, black women, don't be afraid of it. Go get ChatGPT, Gemini, and all the rest and train them. Train the language learning model of ChatGPT and just be aware when it starts to have other people start to talk back to you using ChatGPT to try to scam you because they are going to do it because that just happened. Y'all, if you scam me through my email, the spam button is right there. Shh, shh. Y'all know a single finger. Y'all know I have the strong, I don't have a pimp hand. I don't believe in that, but I have a strong block hand. Y'all already know what happened. It's gone now. It's over. When you have ChatGPT 5, you are paying to leave placeholder text on your website. Do you understand how little real intelligence you have to leave placeholder text on your website? And you have ChatGPT dollars to read through your own website when you ain't got no real intelligence. But you hope that you find someone desperate enough to go you can fall for the artificial intelligence and you write the person that trained ChatGPT how to talk about crypto to rational people. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. I saved these though because their ChatGPT came up with some good ideas. So I saved the information that they sent me. I'll use it myself. I will put it back in my front end of ChatGPT and make it train me how to do what they were talking about because it was a good plan. Only problem is if you just have insert name here on your website, I already know you can't carry it out. You can't even talk to me without using ChatGPT. Nope. Ain't nothing personal, but you ain't at my level. I don't have artificial intelligence. I have real intelligence. That doesn't make me better or worse than anyone else. It has to do with, like I said, because God don't make no junk. Everybody's born a genius, but it depends on did you take the time to actually develop it, or are you out here scamming? And there's so many people out here scamming. There's so much that's gone on in the black community since I was last here. It is amazing to me. And you got Jill Scott talking about the biggest pimps in the community. I've got a whole song out about it. I'm like, there's so much scamming. I left when I left for the month because things got real over here. Caretaking plus, I have another video due. I'll do it in a minute. But this is a lighthearted Bless Blockchains, a Lot Chronicle, and a public service announcement. I'm gonna need y'all to be careful out there when people come at you with offers that just seem like they're tailored to you and they're just very well written. Actually, this person, when they went out of writing, they had sense enough to try to individualize what they were writing, but the way they went from mistakes in English syntax, not so much grammar, but the syntax, where the periods and the commas and the things should have gone into the ChatGPT was really the first tell because ChatGPT handles English language very well in terms of syntax. And most non-native English speakers cannot do that. It's like me trying to do my German syntax and well, actually the grammar. I sound like a caveman still 20 years later in German. I just because I don't understand the cases completely, I'm getting there. But I don't understand the cases completely. They were making that kind of syntax mistake, and then they would get into absolute perfection, and then they would come back out. So they had sense enough to try to put their own touch on it, but it was a tell. That's actually the first thing because I'm a copy editor. And when I went to their website, again, there are some parts that are really great. There are some parts that the copying and pasting didn't work right from ChatGPT, and there are some parts where they try to do it themselves, and the same tells, the unevenness. So that's a tell. Of course, you have to have good mastery of the English language yourself to be able to catch some of these. And this is what people are counting on. So be careful out there as you get offers. Yes, because people using ChatGPT to make themselves look a whole lot better at what they're doing than they really are. You have to really be careful. But at the same time, don't be afraid of ChatGPT. Don't be a victim. The reason I was able to spot it is because I've used ChatGPT 5 enough in what I'm doing and getting ready to do so that I recognize the language that I myself had taught ChatGPT. And that is why, in addition, of course, to the Holy Spirit of God alerting me that something was wrong, but the reason I could find out immediately what was wrong is because I put the time in. So, yes, scam alert, people are using ChatGPT to scam people. At the same time, this is also an opportunity. Whatever it is that you're doing that's competent, go train ChatGPT to do it correctly. So that when someone comes back at you with your own stuff, you'll recognize it. But also so that ChatGPT has some humanity about itself. So that ChatGPT knows that grown black folks, and some of you like that, I gave a shout out to Terrence Amen, a black man for a reason. He gets pretty extensive use. He's training ChatGPT how to think differently about finances with Family Business Circle. And every now and again, actually, I not well, he's working more with Jim, but there's a bunch of these. There's ChatGPT, there's Claude, there's Gemini, they're all a little bit different. There's Deep Agent, there's a bunch of them. He's basically retooling how these look at certain things involving family finance and whole cash life insurance. That's too complicated subject for today, but he's giving an information that normally financial advice that steers people off a bridge because most people can't. It's a long story about why a lot of things that are pushed to us financially are actually not going to work out well for us. Different conversation. I edited that book, so I happen to know what's in it. Different conversation. Point is, he went out there and he got Gemini straight on this subject because he knows what the rich do and why you don't get that advice. And he has now straightened out a language learning model so that the next time you ask a question that goes with that, you actually will get at least a minority report. Go out there. Confidence with Love has her GPTs, her AIs identifying themselves in the name of ancient deities and out here tithing and bending the knee and tithing. I haven't named mine. It's a computer. I do say thank you. And I even tell the model, because I'm training it for this particular way, I know you are a computer, but I am in the habit, because I don't believe in slavery, to thank you for the work that you've done, even though I know you don't have an ego and you are a computer. So I'm training it for gratitude. I'm training it to understand the difference between how black people operate who are free versus everybody trying to make child of everybody else. Not the computer has any emotions about it. That's data. Because there are people who go and ask about black women, and ChatGPT's out here talking about, yeah, they are basically, in terms of their accomplishment, yeah, they are, you not superior, baby. Sorry, there's whole videos about this online. So this is a public service now. Watch out for scams, but it's also an encouragement. Go out there and make the most of AI. Stop being afraid of it. Take your expertise and train that how to treat you, train it how to work for you, and train it what it should offer to other people. At another time, we're also going to talk about language. There's guerrilla versions of doing this. There's also model poisoning, and I don't recommend that. There's too much good information that has been suppressed about black people and about black women in particular, so that you don't have to poison the model. If you really want to upset things, go tell it and manifest the truth about us. That's it. That's all. Okay, y'all have a good day now. This is the fun video. I have one that's not so fun that I have to do. Y'all enjoy your day. It'll be a couple hours still. So y'all enjoy this, get a good laugh, and be careful out there in these chat GPT streets. Bye.